Shabbat Shalom. That's pretty good. I have always been the family vacation planner. It was always my job. Since I was 14 years old and we went to Universal Studios, family vacation planner. We went to Disney, went around Florida, Virginia, anywhere we went, when it came to vacation planning, it was my job because I was really good at it. I knew what rides we were going to go on, in what order we were going to go on them, where we were going to eat, and then where we were going to sit. Where do you stand to see the parade best? Where do you stand to see the fireworks best? I had all these details. I did all my research. I enjoy that kind of a thing. Like I said, I'm good at it. And this talent followed me from those early years till even when I got married. I brought my love of vacation planning and my love of details into my marriage as well. A year after we got married, my husband and I went on a honeymoon. 6 weeks of backpacking around the Russian Far East, Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong, and China. Little honeymoon. So naturally, I saw this as my big project. I bought all the travel books. I bought language books. I looked online for hours and hours and hours, finding all the details. Where should we go? What should we do? How do we get there? What's the best way to go from here to here and here to here? I had an itinerary for every day, often for every hour, where we were going to go, what we were going to do, and when. I'm very organized. That's my style of vacation. I want to know where I'm going and when I'm going to get there. I want to see museums. I want to see points of interest. I want to know where I'm sleeping every night. Little things like that, details. Lots of details. My husband's style of vacation, he wants to lay on a beach with a little drink and a little umbrella in it. And he wants to sleep in. Hey. He's not even here right now. I'll tell him to watch. Clearly, there are people of all sorts of styles of vacation planning here tonight. But as it's become very apparent to y'all, our styles are opposite. And it became very apparent very quickly on our 6-week odyssey through Asia, because we drove each other insane. I want to be up at a certain time so we can go to a certain place and see the thing and then see the other thing. I want to see the things and do the things and eat the things. And he wanted to sleep in and find some lunch. Laze around. It was a tough 6 weeks, especially the first couple weeks. And I remember looking at him and thinking, and he thought the same thing later because I asked him. I remember looking at him and thinking, how are we going to get through the next how are we going to get through the next rest of our lives? We're married. How are we going to make it work? Because for me, the details, the nitty-gritty, are really important. And I would just like to point out that I think that as Jews, we are a very detail-oriented people. Keeping kosher, what you can eat, what can't you eat, how you can eat it, when you can eat it. Shabbat, you can do this, but you can't do that. And if you want to do that, you can do it in a certain way, but you can't do it. Now, details. We're people who love details, right? It makes so much sense when you look in the Torah. The Torah, we read this week in Parshat Pinchas, God says you have to take a census. Every person over 20 years old. And then the Torah lists by tribe all the people. Well, the tribe of Reuben had 43,730 people, and the tribe of Issachar had 64,300 people. And then it gives their names. And it goes on and on. Not to discourage you from coming to shul tomorrow morning. But that is the gist of much of the Parsha. Point in my favor, lots of details. Nitty-gritty. That's what we like as Jews, right? That's important to us. It is. The ancient rabbis, they knew all that stuff, right? Like, they're really smart. They know the whole Torah and everything. And they did. And they made a rule. They knew about the census. They knew you have to count all the Jews. They made a rule. You're not allowed to count Jews. Just made a rule. You're not allowed to do it. Torah says count the Jews. Rabbis say don't count Jews. So how are you supposed to count Jews if you're not allowed to count Jews? It doesn't even make any sense. The two things go in direct opposition to each other. Why do we have these two things? We have to hold on to both of them. They both got to be true. Why tell us to count if we're not allowed to count? What's the point of having this huge conflict? Details are important. Details are not important. I think the conflict is the point, actually. Because details, they are important. A census is important. A census is important because you need to know how many people there are. Vacation planning depends on details. Do you want to go to a foreign country and not know if you need a visa? Do you want to know how to say please and thank you in the local language? These are important details. And Judaism teaches that at the same time, the opposite is true. You can't let yourself get bogged down in details, because if you get really, really bogged down in details, in nitty-gritty, you get mired in it, you forget why it's so important in the first place. Often on vacation, I would be so rigidly sticking to the schedule and doing the things in the right order, I'd forget to actually just have fun. The whole point of having a vacation, right, is having fun. And if you're so rigidly stuck in the details, stuck in the schedule, rigid, you're not flexible, and then you can't change when things happen, right? Sometimes it rains, and something breaks down. Sometimes there's a strike and the buses aren't up. Sometimes you're just too tired, and you miss a part of it. And if you can't be flexible, you get stuck. We have to care about the details because they're important, and at the same time, we have to be able to just let them go. Is that a confusing thought? Kind of, maybe. But is that what happens in life? Think about your own life. In your marriage, in having children, in having a job, and going to school. You have to plan, right? You got to plan. Figure out how school's going to go. Figure out your career. Figure out how your marriage. Figure out raising your kids. And then sometimes, you just got to let it go. Got to let those plans go, those preconceived notions go. Because life happens. And when you have the ability to make the plans and care about the details, but also just let them go and be flexible, that's where life happens. And that's how you'll be happy in life, when life happens to you. My husband and I figured out on this trip that the best vacation was the one where we combine styles. Because it is important, this detail work that I did, to know where and when and how much. And it's important to let it go, to have big swaths of unplanned time, to just let things happen to you, or to even better, do nothing at all. Since that time, several years ago, we have gone on many vacations together, and they have been so much more fun and fulfilling and enjoyable because of the balance of our styles. My husband benefits from seeing the things that I discover in my research. He's prepared because of my details for things that happen to us, and that's good, and he enjoys his vacations more. And I benefit greatly from being able to just relax and enjoy the moments as they're happening to me, because he has a desire to not plan every single moment, to know everything that's going to happen before it happens. In life, you got to do both. And I hope that we're all blessed to be able to care about the details and care about the nitty-gritty, and to also be able to just let it go, so that we all become happier and more productive people. Shabbat Shalom.